Hey y'all, it's Kim. So this will be page 8 in the National Archives of the JFK CIA files, basically. I'm going to add it into that CIA and JFK tab, like on my YouTube. But I had to look this word up. Anyway, this is secret. And then whatever all these codes up here at the top, secret 231556Z, May 78 to, I guess, the staff. And then the site, it says Guayaquil or something like that. I guess is how you pronounce that. And then the director of info, Quito Caracas. And anyway, in the state 129679, it says one base has just received copy of, I guess, reference, which advises of visits to Guayaquil on 29th of May of Messrs. Gayton Fonzie and Albert Gonzalez, as staff members of House Select Committee on Assassinations. The nature of a purpose of visit not explained, but would like to know if HQ is aware of above and should base expect contact from subjects. Subject scheduled for Caracas is the 1st of June, and then no file. And I guess that's it. They don't know anything. Anyway, it's just weird seeing all this stuff. So these people were coming down to Guayaquil to ask questions. Okay, and then this looks almost the same. Okay, maybe this is in response to it. It's Guayaquil or Guayaquil, something like that, or Guayaquil. Info Quito, excuse me, Caracas, and Guayaquil 21 or 22196 0741 704. And that says HQ's working agreement with House Select Committee on Assassinations, HSCA, provides for notice to HQs for HSCA investigators of all planned contacts with current or former staff personnel. In absence of such notice, in this case, is our assumption that no contact with station or base staffs as such is planned. In event you are contacted, please restrict your comments to work performed in your cover capacity. No file, blah, 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 all this stuff. I guess these are just some of the people that were involved. Sturbitz, Turberville, Chapanic, Breckenridge, Amori, Beardsley, and then Warren. And then it says secret. Let's see here. So this bunch codes at the top. It says priority WWSB Luxembourg. This is May of 78. And director 230113. A book cable. And then WN Intel Rybat. The House Select Committee on Assassinations, HSCA, chaired by Representative Louis Stokes, has been interviewing a number of retirees and ex-employees and has been going through material furnished to them by the agency. Through this process, committee staff members have obtained a number of names of non-official cover officers and agent cryptonyms. It is now the intention of the committee to send staff members to a number of countries to interview individuals in the field. We are, of course, most concerned about the protection of our sources and the identities of our non-official officers. At the same time, we are anxious to assist the work of the HSCA. We shall therefore examine each request on a case-by-case basis. It says we have been working with Chairman Stokes to develop mutually accepted guidelines for handling HSCA requests. These are contacts with former agency employees living abroad. If we know where such employees are, we will inform the committee. We cannot, however, undertake to find them if we do not know where they are. It says individuals who are not and have not been agents, but who might have information pertinent to the investigation. The names of each individuals will be furnished furnished us by the HSCA, and we will check to ensure that such an individual would not be in a position to reveal previous or current agency assets or operations. Non-official cover officers, staff members may interview NOCS, but not repeat, not in country. NOCS will be flown to other areas for interviews. Additionally, NOCS will use aliases that are appropriate. Agents, past or present HSCA staff members may not repeat, not contact or interview agents. If you are approached in the field with a request from an HSCA staff member to be put in touch with NOCS or agents, and you have not had prior headquarters notification of such a request, you should immediately consult headquarters prior to making any commitment. And then whatever this code stuff is down here, Page, Gregg, Breckenridge, McMahon, Carlucci. And that's the end of that one, secret. Okay. So this is for Hong Kong. This is secret precedence and all this code stuff at the top. May of 78. It says priority director, WN Intel Rybat director, referring or reference received, I don't know, maybe a referral received, Hong Kong for passage to FBIS, relates to House Select Committee on Assassinations, HSCA, interest in non-official cover officers and agent assets. Subject does not appear to concern FBIS, field units. Please clarify, and then whatever ET, IMP, DET. And that was a secret. And so priority Hong Kong, 59696076884, and director 230113. A believed station in reference is confused about passage of RAFB to FBIS. Reference B is for station and not for passage to FBIS. Hope this clarifies, I guess, basically regarding a query. And then this has Hager, Garrison, Greg, and Hager. I don't know. I guess these people are telecoordinator. So that was a secret. And then, okay, so Ramon Joseph Alvarez Durant, recruited March 1955 as member station unilateral surveillance team, OA, 28th of February 1955, and then the 1st of October 1955 converted to contract status with annual salary of $3,600 a year. Wow. Late of 1956, PA in charge of surveillance team, and also was in charge of photo surveillance of the Soviet mission, including processing the film. LIMT was crypt for the whatever support team targeted against the Soviet embassy. Under LIMT, the 3 base house were encrypted. So limited base house across street from Soviet embassy, Lyric, I guess. Base house across the street from Soviet embassy, and then Lakala, a base house from which pictures taken from garden area of Soviet embassy. A photo of a man alleged to be Oswald was taken from the limited base house. And then 12th of December 58, Alvarez married LIMT 19 Hester Roos, who assisted him during the next 10 years as a part-time support asset as PA for the LIMT activity, surveillance and photo coverage of the Soviet target. In October 1962, in order to provide maximum compartmentation, oh, good grief, between the various base houses. Oliver G. Scantling was inserted as a cutout to the limited base house and its base house keepers, LIMT 6 and 8, replacing Alvarez. Alvarez continued as a cutout for the LI Entrap roving band, L. Li Kala, and Li Lyric. This gave Alvarez more time to process raw photo take. This continued from October 1962 until 1st of September 1964, when Alvarez assumed cutout responsibility for limited base house again. Alvarez separated from LIMT-19, and a messy divorce suit followed. In December 1969, he was put on half pay and his ops duty suspended due to his full-time involvement in the legal matters regarding the divorce. On 26th of June 7th, he and LI-19 signed quit claims and secrecy agreements. Alvarez paid $10,000 as a termination bonus. Last station contact with Alvarez was something May of 71, when Alvarez received the last of his termination bonuses, and visited in 1963 when Oswald allegedly visited the Soviet embassy. Scantling was the PA for the limited base house, and LIMT-6, Jorge Barcelo Villagran Alvarez was the photo tech who took the pictures. And then LIMT-6 was recruited in June of 1954 as member of the physical surveillance team. In December 1955, he and his wife occupied the limited base house. He took pictures for 13 years and was terminated at 31st of May 1968. Signed quit claim and secrecy agreement, which was witnessed by Alvarez. Alvarez presumably was the individual who developed the photos, which LIMT-6 took, as well as the photo tech coverage of the other two base houses. Scantling's true name is Juan N. Price Ramirez, a contract agent. Soviet embassy coverage. Project LIMT concerned primarily with photo coverage of the Soviet installation, active from mid-1955 through 30th of June 1972. It supported two of the original three base houses, which were limited, has been terminated. Li Kala, activated in 1957 to provide photo coverage. The rear garden parking lot area of the Soviet embassy, Li Lyric, activated in 1956 to provide photo coverage of the front entrance of the Soviet embassy, terminated 30th of June 1972, and limited, activated in 1955 to provide photo coverage of the front entrance of the Soviet embassy, and terminated 31st of May 1968. And this also says secret. Let's see here. This says secret. This has 10 pages. I don't know, I don't want to read all of it. But anyway, I'll look through some of it. So I think this says a Traficante, Vienna, Brussels, Copenhagen, London, Helsinki, Paris, Bonn, Bern, Frankfurt, Hamburg, Munich, Rome, Milan, Luxembourg, The Hague, Oslo, Lisbon, Madrid, Stockholm, Bern. Okay. Oh, Berlin, excuse me. And then this is Bern. And then Geneva and Zurich. And Talk? I don't know. Following names on LMB watch list. Please report any information regarding activities, including travel of the individuals listed. Let me see if this will move over just a little bit. Okay. Listed below. when in your judgment may affect the security of the president during his European trip. This list may be passed to liaison for traces and something watch listing. Uh, Maybe bomber. I don't know. BO watch listing. Please attempt to confirm the whereabouts of the individuals if they are listed as last being in your area. Forward all information by immediate precedence cable to HQs and to Rome, Madrid, and London. Let me see what date this was supposed to be. Excuse me. Oh, this is September of 70. Okay. And then let me go back down here. Barola Ceranic, Octavio. And then this is white male, born 3/4/28 at Aleo, Spain. Whereabouts unknown. Reported 3/18 of 70 aliases. Alario, maybe. Juan and Ceranic, Barola. Octavio, citizen of Spain. Ali Khan Tarek, Asian male. That's weird. And then born 10/21/42 at Lahore, West Pakistan. Last known location reported 7/28/69. London, England. Alias is Khan Ali Tarek. And then I guess citizen of Pakistan. And then there's maybe some type of ID. Italo Antonucci, white male, 5'3". No, that's short. Brown eyes, is Toronto, Italy. Last known location, Piandorta. I don't know. I'm saying it probably wrong. Citizen of Italy. And then Anthony Black, white male, 5'10", black hair, brown eyes, born 11/1/27 in Ireland. Harold Citronell, white male, 6', 150, black hair, brown eyes, born 3/10/23 in New York. Last known location, Stockholm, U.S. citizen. Daniel Cohn Bendit. He's a Matauban, I guess. And then France. And last known location, Frankfurt, Germany. He's got a bunch of aliases. Danny Bendit Cohn, Daniel Cohn Bendit, Daniel Kuran Modzalewski. I think that's how you say that. A citizen of Germany. And then Ronald G. Kahn, last known location, Rat Psychiatric Clinic, Stockholm, Sweden. He's a U.S. citizen, John Earl Conway, and no citizenship. I don't want to read all this stuff because it's like, okay, cool. Thomas Joseph Corcoran. That's just a bunch of like pertinent information about him. U.S. citizen, Craig J. Davidson. Last known location is Stuttgart, Germany, maybe. And then U.S. citizen. So a lot of these people look like they're from United States. Okay, as citizen of U.S. living in Europe. As for this, Paul Davis, Edward Michael DeVoren, white male. Citizenship is unknown. Rudolph Deutschka, I don't know. Sounds right. London, England, reported citizen of Germany. And then Vernon Follett, and he's a Swiss citizen. Carl Getz, U.S. citizen. Anyway, let's just keep going. These people, there's a lot of them on here. Citizen of Finland. Yeah, wow. So this is a long one. Citizen of France. So I guess they're just basically like almost a terrorist watch list. I mean, I don't know why their names are on here, but there's a bunch on here. It's 10 pages of stuff. Yeah, could you imagine trying to read all this? No, I don't think so. German citizen. They've got a bunch of permanent residents. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not reading all those names. And then, ooh, this has 17 pages. Let's just read a few. I don't want to read all of this. That's a lot of reading. As noted in reference, forwarded herewith is a copy of the subject memorandum. Please note that the information in the memorandum, paragraph B4B, is particularly sensitive and should only be given properly restricted dissemination. Mark J. Legible. So, ooh, this is a lot. Okay. So, what do they got? So, page 4, I want to see what the sensitive part is. Page 4, B. The case of the 4 sailor deserters and B. Hiren, how it started, the consensus of all available overt media material with no recorded dissent indicates that this 4 sailors voluntarily left their ship, went AWOL, and ended up wallowing around Tokyo's hippie land. Precisely what personal grievances prompted the 4 to embark on this misadventure is not yet known, but up to this point, the 4 could fairly as categorized as misguided youngsters gone astray in a foreign land and due to get slapped back in line with traditional Navy justice when they finally decided to stop the fun and go back to the ship. So far, this made their cases far from unique. That's weird. What? Says how it became an incident. Well, I guess let me go back to the first page because I don't know. I didn't want to read all of this. Paragraph B, 4B. So B. Oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, B, 4B. Okay, I guess. The brain apparatus at work. While many of the small pieces of this puzzle, which would put the whole case in proper detailed chronological order and eliminate speculation on minor points, are still missing, enough is known now through overt and covert sources that the picture of B.E. Hiron's adept handling of this case shines through clearly. The following elements, all part of the B.E. Hiron apparatus, make up the bulk of the picture. The hideout. Wow. What? They've got all kinds of weird stuff in here. Oh, here's this B. Okay, Soviet liaison. B.E. Hiron, Secretary General Yoshikawa has maintained periodic contact with the Soviet embassy officials for years. B.E. Hiron, Chairman ODA, has met Soviet Peace Committee officials in Moscow. The exact means of how this liaison was accomplished in this case is precisely known from a covert phone tap on the Soviet embassy's line. A full transcript is available of 2 phone calls made on 30th of October, first by Brian Victoria to Chief Press Attaché Nikolai V. Vasilevich. I hate these names. And second by Yoshikawa, the first secretary, Sergei D. Anisimov, urgently requesting a private meeting later that day to discuss an extremely important, extremely delicate matter, without doubt, the case of the 4 sailors. I'm just gonna put like the links and so y'all can read all these. That's a lot of reading. We got 2 more pages, or 2 more little things here. So this is Copenhagen headquarters. It's transmitted here with the copies or photocopies of Timothy Leary's documents discussed in the reference to his return to CIA. And this is May 18th of 71. There's something about 8/11 of 76. Confidential Timothy F. Noggle. Let's see. Oh, so Good Times. Oh, this got like almost like an address book. What is all this? Oh. Oh, this has phone numbers and stuff in it. Yeah, but you can't really read the handwriting. Oh, well, that's okay. And let's see, MP Troika. And then this information is not to be disseminated outside of CISO without prior approval of the Chief Special Operations Group, CI staff. And then cryptonym. Okay, this contact report with MP Troika. This is March 1st, 1972. Okay, memorandum for the record, contact report of meetings with MP Troika 7 in New York City on 14th of February and in Virginia on 17th of 8 and 18th of February 1972. This memorandum covers recent meetings with MP Troika 7 in New York City and in the Northern Virginia area. The meetings were held under secure conditions and there was no security incidents noted. Operational United States China Friendship Association Study Group M7's persistent efforts to locate and join a pro-Mao study group finally paid off. The manager of the China bookstore finally broke down under M7's campaign and put her in touch with the local USCFA study group under the leadership of Mrs. Susan Warren, aka Frank. M7 has attended one session and based on her initial observation provided the assessment of Miss Warren attached hereto at the undersigned request. M7 believes she has hit it off with Mrs. Warren because of her understanding of dialectics, thanks to Andy Ness's tutoring, and consequently, she was instructed to attempt to develop a social business relationship with her. With respect to the other members of the study group, M7 claims that the situation to date has not been conducive to ferreting out the identities of these individuals, but that she hopes that as the group continues to meet, some rapport will be established with their classmates. New school and language instructions. M7 has formally enrolled at the graduate faculty of the New School for Social Research in a course entitled Comparative Legal Systems, which studies the theories, institutions, concepts, customs, and which purports to analyze and compare the law and the administration of law in select countries, including China, Japan, Vietnam, Germany, the US, and the Soviet Union. M7 will also enroll in a French language instruction course in the near future. Ramparts Tour, New York, Media Workshops Women's Tour, acting on a suggestion proposed by Mr. Jason Horn, CISO, the undersigned raised the subject of the women's tour, which is scheduled to visit London, Paris, where they will meet the DRV peace delegation in Rome from 27th of May through 25th of June 1972 with M7 and instructed her to attempt to determine the interest in and likely composition of the New York group and explore the possibility of joining such a group. M7's first reaction to the tour was that the cost, $699, which price includes airfare, trains, hotels, etc., was too high. It was explained to her that the cost factor should not deter her from following through. It was then that M7 voiced some concern that the timing of the tour may interfere with her own PCS departure. We had been talking in terms of mid-May or June 1972 up to this point. It was made clear to her that no fixed date has been established as yet for her PCS departure, and that the aforementioned tour may well prove to be of operational interest, e.g., the meeting, the DRV delegation, and continuing the staging process prior to her actual departure. M7 said that she understood and would look into the matter. She did not believe she would have any difficulty in covering the funds should she find herself included on the tour. Southeast Asia reports M7 produced a copy of the first issue of SEER, a biweekly newsletter put out by the New York University Students Mobilization Committee, Box 59, Loeb Student Center, 566 LaGuardia Place, New York City, 10003. M7 is listed as one of the 5 contributing staff members on the back page of this mimeograph New Left publication. A copy of this first issue is attached here too. One of M7's articles will appear in a subsequent issue of SEER. JB Minimum Testing and Training. As part of M7's covert training and assignment in anticipation of her foreign assignment, the undersigned arranged for 2 members of the Psychological Assessment Branch, TSD, Messrs. DeMarco and Saunders, to administer a JB minimum test to her and to brief her in the use and value of the JB minimum test in a field situation. This training and briefing took place on 18th of February in the Safe House in North Arlington, Virginia. A copy of the JB minimum assessment on N7 will be made a matter of record in her official dossier. M7 was introduced as Miss Julie to members of the PAB-TSD for purpose of this testing and briefing, or test and briefing. Mr. Andy Ness devoted the afternoon of 18th of February with M7 for the purpose of continuing her training in dialectics, which she has found to be particularly useful in understanding the study group discussion and to permit her participation. Administrative salary and operational advances, the underside paid M7 her January salary on a $500 advance on 17th of February 1972. She also received a $300 advance on 14th of February 1972. These advances were necessary because of the expenses N7 had incurred in enrolling at the new school and to pay for her French lessons. One of the reasons M7 was brought down to the Washington area was to straighten out a problem she was having with her accounting. Hopefully, she is now convinced that she has been receiving all that was due her. Tax administration and notification of personnel action. M7 was notified of the change in the tax assessment and of the adjustments in her salary due to the legislative pay increase and the withholding of premiums for hospitalization. Action to be taken. M7's assignment abroad, per the undersigned's discussion with Messrs. Flitcroft and Cornish, a telepouch dispatch will be sent to Bangkok station proposing M7's assignment to Bangkok primarily for housekeeping purposes, but with the regional mission to perform. The undersigned is presently working on the message. Concealment device. M7 requested a concealment device for her microdot viewer, which the undersigned will attempt to obtain from TSD. Additionally, the undersigned will request TSD to provide concealment devices from M7's general use as a storage for papers and funds. William E. Gavigan. And then Mrs. Susan Warren, aka Susan Frank. Susan is a tough cookie. One of her most outstanding features is a complete lack of interest in anyone but herself. When leading a China study class, this is her method. First, she asks a question from her notes, such as, "What do you think Mao meant when he said this?" Then she calmly, maybe that's calmly, listens to what the class thinks Mao meant. When everyone finishes, Susan begins to tell exactly what he meant to say. Through the evening, her attitude remains the same. I've been here before and said this before. There's no enthusiasm in her that I could see. Susan is an expert on China. I know because she told me. She told everyone else too within the first 8 minutes of class. Well, I spoke to those soldiers in Yunnan who fired on those peasants, but she really didn't have to advertise her knowledge because it is very apparent. She has a solid understanding of Chinese political line and can smoothly defend Chinese history. As far as the woman herself is concerned, she has not as much money as she would like. I believe she wants to dress in style now, although dressing conservatively, she still develops an eye for color and she would clearly be receptive to intelligent male attention. She has a nice figure and is aware of it. Perhaps the clue which best typifies Susan's personality is her voice. It is deep, slow, even and artificially cultured. For example, R's become D in Vedi or America. Her hand movements when she speaks are measured and deliberate. While listening, she fidgets a little, but not much. Two noticeable features are her thumbnails. Both are filed almost to points, are very thick and yellowish, more so than other nails. While she is concerned with herself, I believe she would follow someone who either interested her or gently led her. There is a part of her normally conservative character that would like to break away and try new things, although not new ideas in politics. One last remark. She is a straightforward person, will look you in the eye, will tell someone not to speak too long if she wants to move on to something else, and these observations were made after one meeting in a study class and for a few minutes before class. So this also says secret. So that's basically page 8 of the archives for all the JFK assassination records. I don't know how some of this stuff works, like what's the purpose of these forms, but whatever. Somehow they're intertwined in all this JFK stuff. Maybe they were watching people because maybe they knew something about something with the CIA. So anyway, I'm gonna stop that for now. I'll keep going with these. I just like the last few days, I haven't done much of anything. We've been dealing with some stuff here, and I've been kind of coughing if you haven't noticed. And anyway, um, I'll keep going with these. It's kind of fascinating just looking into the documents themselves. Even if I don't ever find a smoking gun, we did see Lee Harvey Oswald's name pop up again this time. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great afternoon. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.